Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Britt asks Jason on a date. Portia faces the hospital committee, and Sunny and Justine discuss Willow's guilt. Read the last GH recap. Willow stabbed Drew with a hypodermic needle, telling him everything will work out. Ava joins Nina at the cafe, and they discuss how Willow may be free, but she's not free of Drew. Ava urges her to stay out of this. Nina doubts Drew will ever let her daughter go. Willow calls in a panic, explaining something has happened to Drew. Kai and Trina are kissing at their table when Curtis interrupts. Kai steps off and they discuss Portia and the baby. Curtis tells her that her mom has a board meeting at the hospital about her future. She'll need their support. He takes off. Kai leaves with Nina, so Trina joins Ava. She's happy that things are going well for Trina and Kai again. She says he's really surprised her. Ava sours when she gets a text about shipping fees. They ponder how she can get past those. Trina urges her to be careful with Sidwell. He dangerous. Ava insists she can deal with men like him. She plans to spend a lot more time at Windermere. At GH, Lucas and Liz discuss Willow going free. She hopes they can all put this nightmare behind them and move on. Liz worries that Willow lets Drew control her. The paramedics call to say they are bringing in a critical patient. Stella corners Portia, and they discuss her meeting with the board. Stella asks if her choices are worth it. Portia insists she only chose to protect her daughter and she's willing to face consequences for that. After she walks off, Gannon chases Stella down. She refuses to talk to him, but he insists. Gannon tells her that Portia's marriage was already falling apart before he came along. He reminds her of how Portia came through for her and urges her to be more generous. In an office, Laura and Tracy discuss whether the hospital can keep Portia after she knowingly falsified tests. Portia joins them and they offer her the chance to defend herself. The doctor admits that she altered test results as a mother to protect her child. She's been cleared by the medical association so she can still practice. She hopes she can continue to do that there. They discuss how Drew tormented her, but she still saved his life. She obeyed her oath. After the hearing, Portia meets with Gannon and tells him what happened. He's sure they will see what a great doctor she is. Before they can leave, Stella chases them down. She apologizes for adding to her problems. Portia is sorry for any pain she caused her. Stella knows this is a difficult situation. Jason arrives and Britt leads him away as Cullum watches from a distance. She takes Jason to her office and explains it's the first step in her getting her life back. She hands him cash for her bill from the cafe. Britt says the only way for them to move forward is by being on equal footing. The doctor offers to take him out. He happily agrees, even though she'll need him to wear a suit. Once he leaves, Cullum shows up. Britt is surprised. He says she can't leave him behind. He orders her to start working in Tay Lab at Windermere. The project has to be online in 3 months. That means she needs to disappear. Britt protests that she just got her life back. He doesn't care. She asks for a day, but he refuses. If she doesn't leave now, she won't receive any more medication. He orders her to get Jason out of her life, or he will. Down the corridor, Willow tells Liz that Drew started slurring his words and then it was like he was melting and he collapsed. Liz hugs her. Kai drives Nina over and Willow tells them how scared she is. Kai stares at her in disbelief. Tracy sees Willow crying and asks if something happened to the children. Lucas comes out and explains they think Drew had a severe stroke. He could have aphasia or be in lockdown syndrome. When Willow goes to the washroom, Nina and Tracy talk about how Drew could be a vegetable. Tracy says karma has finally come for Drew. Down the hall, Willow drops her syringe in the medical trash. Sunny and Justine go to her office. He tells her it would be a big mistake for her to target his son. She doesn't like being threatened. He reminds her she's compromised because she heard Drew threatening her son. The ADA says she'll recuse herself if charges go forward. She knows Willow is guilty but couldn't prove it. She admits Michael will likely be prosecuted. He doesn't see the point. Sunny says Drew got what he deserved and the case should be dropped. At the Quartermains, Chase tells Michael that he has no one to blame but himself if he goes down for Drew's shooting. They start shouting at each other, and Chase tells him he's the one who should be locked up. Michael thinks he's a fool and can't see what's in front of his face. "How long until you're back in her bed, Chase?" Michael asks. Chase punches him for that. Michael punches them back. They pummel each other until Jason runs in and breaks them up. Chase tells Michael he will pay and storms out. Michael tells Jason the cops will be after him. He says he didn't do it. Jason believes him and reminds him of all he's already fought against. He can get past this too. Jason promises Drew will never get access to the children. Curtis joins Laura in her office and they discuss her meeting with Portia. She can't say which way she's leaning, but she thinks the doctor made an impressive case. Curtis tells her that Drew was trying to force Portia to frame Michael for addiction to secure custody for the children. Portia refused. He thinks GH should keep her on staff. Laura will consider it and hopes that he and Portia remember coming together over this. The General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026, focus on Tacy making Jason an offer while Lucas delivers devastating news. If Tacy makes Jason an offer, as the weekly spoilers suggest, let's hope that it has something to do with Drew. Because we all know what a thorn that guy has been in the side of the Quartermains. And Tacy may finally want to do something about him. Drew has manipulated both Willow and Michael's son, Wiley. There was that whole Quartermain crypt disaster. He recently bribed the moving company and commandeered Tacy and the Quartermain's personal belongings and mementos. And he callously walked away from Ned as he had a heart attack. If anybody can deal with him, Tacy knows that Jason can. Will Tacy ask Jason to get those boxes back from Drew by hook or by crook? If not, what does she want him to do? Something more serious? Last time that Jason dealt with something serious, he had to disappear Dalton's dead body. An unexpected conversation happens between Nina and Kai. It involves Nina advising Kai, who might finally let someone other than the Ashford family know he hates Drew. Why would he need advice from the Crimson owner? After rushing into action on Tuesday, Lucas delivers devastating news on Wednesday. This could have something to do with Willow injecting Drew while home alone with him while they celebrated her not guilty verdict. Meanwhile, a stressed-out Laura is under Sidwell's thumb and has to answer to Ezra Boyle of all people. The only legit way of getting out of this mess is to go to the police, which will mean trouble for her and Sonny. On Wednesday, she is alarmed. What does she have to deal with now? Finally, Brennan briefs Joss. The question is how much he reveals to the rookie WSB agent. His boss, Ross Cullum, is in town, and he told Jack that they've lost Anna, even though he knew exactly where Anna was. Will this briefing include new orders for Joss? General Hospital spoilers and updates for Tuesday, January 20th, tease Britt Westbourne asks Jason Morgan out. Elsewhere in the hospital, Stella Henry disses Isaiah Gannon, and in the Quartermain solarium, Harrison Chase slugs Michael Corinthus. At General Hospital, Britt slyly smiles as she tells Jason she has something she wants to show him. She'll turn the tables and ask him out for a date this time. Chances are she won't want to go to the axe-throwing place again since the time before has likely left a bad taste in her mouth. The last time they were interrupted by Carly Spencer and Jocelyn Jacks. This time, Britt will likely want to go somewhere more special. Elsewhere in the hospital, Stella disses Isaiah when he asks her a question likely something about Portia Robinson. She's highly offended and lets him know it in no uncertain terms, as she tells him that's a family matter and she and he are not family. Stella is in the loop, no doubt, that the baby that Portia is carrying may not be Curtis Ashford's baby. Have the results even come back on the paternity test yet? Is that what Isaiah's asking her? Perhaps he should be asking Britt, although she won't tell him either. In the meantime, Nina Reeves and Tacy Quartermain wait in the hospital. It sounds like Drew Kane may be the one that Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Baldwin are working on as they rush to action. Tacy tells Nina that karma's a bitch, and it finally came for Drew, although what caused his problem is only known by Willow Tate. Now the big question is what will happen next. Lucas will deliver some devastating news in Wednesday's GH episode. Will Drew survive, but be comatose? Or will Scout Kane now be an orphan? In the meantime, Sonny Corinthos hunts down acting district attorney Justine Turner at the Port Charles courthouse. He's acting proactively on the behalf of Michael, having promised him he won't go down for Drew's attempted murder by shooting. Justine told Dante Falconeri to make a case against Michael in the wake of Willow's acquittal. Sonny tells her that would be a big mistake. He may be pushing the idea of another suspect. At the Quartermain solarium, Chase and Michael got into a confrontation after Chase simply wanted to make amends as well as he could considering the circumstances. Michael was right when he told him that he pointed all the suspicion towards him for shooting Drew, and he certainly wasn't happy. But Michael is slinging accusations and his former best friend is getting more and more offended. Michael crosses the line as he asks him, "How until you're back in our bed, Chase?" And Chase slugs him. What does Michael even mean by our bed? He and Willow are divorced and she's remarried Drew. General Hospital shocked everyone when Willow stuck a needle in Drew's neck. Some say she's crazy, but she may not be working alone. The verdict is finally in. A very guilty Willow was found not guilty. Alexis is tortured for the part she played, while Michael worries that he will be arrested, but Willow and Drew celebrate. With Scout safely away at her grandmother's house, Willow gave her husband a glass of champagne, hugged him, then stabbed him in the neck with a syringe. It was a crazy move that no one saw coming, especially Drew. What happens next remains to be seen, but there is a possibility that Michael is working with his ex to bring down Drew. Michael and Willow met right before the verdict came in. He told his ex that if she were convicted, he would make sure that the kids would retain a relationship with their mother. Willow then asked him what would happen if she were set free, but we never heard his response. Willow may have snapped, but her move may have been more calculated. It has been apparent that she hates her husband. Who could blame her? She shot him, but he survived, so she married him to save herself from prison. Now she needs to get out. Willow has always said she would do anything to be with her children. Michael may have offered her exactly what she wanted. If she were acquitted, she could have joint custody of Wiley and Amelia if Drew were no longer in the picture. Assuming Matheson is not leaving GH, the exes can now hold him hostage until he does what they want. Admit Michael didn't shoot him, give Willow a divorce, allow Scout full access to her family, etc. This would solve everyone's problems, and Drew would finally get what's coming to him. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Drew Kane can't shake the idea that he remembers something from the night of his shooting. Many fans thought he might recall Willow Tate Kane doing the deed, but as she's been exonerated, that ship may have sailed. Plus, she was pretty silent during the entire thing. Still, will Drew remember Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor being in the room? General Hospital spoilers remind fans that during the Friday, January 19th episode, Drew saw Kai and Michael Corinthos shaking hands in the courtroom, and it clearly rubbed him the wrong way. This certainly means there's trouble on the horizon for Kai. He's now officially on Drew's radar, as the congressman never likes anyone from his team fraternizing with the enemy, and Drew's biggest rival right now is Michael. Willow shooting Drew was replayed while Willow was on the stand testifying during the week of January 5th to 9th. Willow didn't make a peep during the time she entered Drew's house and shot him twice in the back. Drew may remember Wiley Corinthos' ringtone. However, wouldn't he have already remembered it if he had heard it the other day? With that said, as Kai and Trina had a conversation while Drew was seemingly lying lifeless on the floor after he got shot, could something trigger Drew's memory so that he recalls hearing their voices that night? Once Drew remembers Kai and Trina's voice, he might believe that either of them shot him or they were in cahoots with Michael to execute his shooting. Either way, things don't look good for Kai or Trina right now. Their only saving grace is that Alexis Davis also knows the truth, and as she's a lawyer, she might be able to help them. Even though she hasn't been on the canvas for well over a year, it seems like former General Hospital star Kelly Monaco is still very frustrated with the way that things are still going. Or at least, about some of the things that are being said about her. There's strong speculation suggesting that Kelly, who was once best known for her role as Sam McCall on the hit ABC soap, simply wants all the rumors to stop. That's because there have been a lot of General Hospital spoilers suggesting that she's coming back to reprise her role and that her character is going to be the one who will get rid of Drew Quartermaine once and for all. But it seems like there is absolutely no truth to any of the rumors, as Kelly has made it clear that she never wants to go back to General Hospital, let alone have anything to do with the soap again. After all, she was in General Hospital for nearly 2 decades, yet was unceremoniously let go in the way that she was back in 2024. Sure, Port Charles might have been like a second home for the actress, but now it's a place that she certainly wants to keep her distance away from. There was earlier speculation suggesting one of the reasons why Kelly was let go from the soap was because she kept calling off from working and needing time off away from the set. Not only that, but there were also complaints that Kelly was phoning it in and just wasn't putting as much effort into her character Sam as she was in the past. In other words, it seemed like she was checked out and had no interest in checking back in. That was disappointing not only for the producers of the soap, but also all the General Hospital fans out there. But now Kelly just wants to make it clear that she's not going to be taking 2 steps back when all she's interested in doing is taking a huge step forward in her career, regardless of where that might take her. So far, Kelly Monaco herself has not made any comments about the matter, but you'll definitely hear from us first the moment the latest details come in. Watch this space for more. General Hospital airs weekdays on the ABC network. Check your local listings for times. General Hospital spoilers gossip Willow Tate Kane has wanted nothing more than to be with her children again all of these months. Losing custody came as a crushing blow to her, and it's been her mission ever since to see her relationships with Wiley and Amila Corinthos back on track. Marrying Drew Kane was a big part of her plan to restore her custodial rights. Alexis Davis must know something about how it feels to have to please Drew and stay on his good side just to stay in her granddaughter's life. Emily Scout Kane has become a bargaining chip for Drew to wield as a power play. Now that Alexis succeeded in winning Willow's case, will Drew let bygones be bygones, or will he up the stakes to keep Alexis bending to his will? Drew originally secured a deal with Alexis, however reluctant on her part that she would represent Willow and do her best to get her declared innocent in exchange for having visitation time with Scout. Alexis wasn't prepared to refuse that offer, even though she tried. The more that she saw she wouldn't have any access to Scout, or influence in her life, leaving her to Drew, the more reasonable of a situation it seemed to be to succumb to. But now that Drew knows Alexis will move mountains to be able to be in Scout's life, he knows he can do it again and again. That may mean not holding up his end of this bargain, but it depends who you ask. From his perspective, he did, but now the runway for Willow's case is over, and a new one is about to begin. We don't see Alexis dabble in family law very much, but it appears that's where she'll be headed next. Drew isn't going to leave Willow's custody case in the hands of just anyone. While Marty Gray might be plenty competent, Drew knows Alexis is going to fight harder than any other attorney will when her relationship with Scout is on the line. Will he force her hand by proposing a new arrangement where she only gets to see Scout if she acts as Willow's attorney, and perhaps where she only gets to continue her relationship with her granddaughter afterward if Willow succeeds in getting her kids back? If Drew finds out what Alexis did, knowingly covering for the fact that Willow did shoot him, it could go either way. On one hand, Drew might be sadistic enough and obsessed with Willow enough that he overlooks the fact that she tried to kill him. So he might be pleased that Alexis continued as promised with her defense to ensure Willow was found not guilty. But he may also be furious that she didn't tell him the truth and that she was more or less okay with him being hitched to an attempted murderer. If that's the case, he could hold that over her head as even more leverage to restrict her access to Scout and make her carry out his orders. After all, if anyone finds out Alexis knew her client was guilty, it could ruin her career. General Hospital spoilers are in for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Harrison Chase to punch Michael Corinthos. Tracy Quartermaine talks about Drew Kane's karma. Plus, Stella Henry lashes out at Isaiah Gannon. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the ABC soap opera. Stella lashes out at Isaiah during a heated confrontation, making it clear that she does not see him as family. The clash hints at deeper resentment and unresolved tension simmering beneath the surface. Let's start off with Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin. They will rush into action at the hospital. Now that the preview clip for tomorrow has been released, it's clear that they will try to save Drew Kane. However, I wonder what Willow Tate Kane's excuse will be this time. They can't try her again, but only for the same crime. This is a totally new attempted murder. Of course, if Drew doesn't make it, it would be homicide. That is if the police can prove it. It doesn't sound like Drew makes it. Later in the week, Lucas has to deliver bad news to someone. In another part of the hospital, Britt Westbourne chats with Jason Morgan. The woman seductively tells Jason to come with her. Jason does follow her, but it's also stated that they go on another date. General Hospital spoilers for tomorrow's episode reveal that Chase and Michael have a tense interaction. The detective wanted to smooth things over, but it didn't quite go that way. Instead, Michael will ask Chase how long until he's back in Willow's bed. After that, Chase loses all control and punches Michael in the face. Over at the Q mansion, Nina Reeves stops by. The blonde will chat with Tracy Quartermaine. The matriarch declares that karma finally came for Drew. So it sounds like Drew isn't going to be a problem anymore. At the hospital, Isaiah runs into Stella Henry. However, the woman is in a mood and tells the surgeon that he's not family. As for what else to expect, Trina Robinson opens up to Ava Jerome. However, we know that later in the week, Sonny Corinthos pries some intel from Ava. Elsewhere, Sonny declares that it would be a big mistake. Is the mob boss talking about Michael to Justine Turner? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026?